Hello everyone, good morning. I'm Steve from UCAN English Tutoring. In this video, I'm going to assess one of the OET letters written by a student. And this letter is the one which was asked in the real OET examination in the month of January 2021. Let's start this letter now and then we'll go through the case notes. Okay, so these are the case notes. Imagine that today's date is 23 January 2021. You are a senior nurse in resident nursing home and Mr. Aari Vanov, who is under your care, was admitted 6 weeks ago. So these are the patient's details. And then we have got the social background of this patient as well. He's a widower for 15 years, a retired bank clerk, lives alone in a boarding house. Sons not visit. Two friends visit occasionally, drinks regularly, present drinks 3 to 5 minutes per day. Hobbies: music, singing in chore a year ago. And then these are the medical background. Okay, so in 2017, alcoholic dementia. And in 2017, first visited by community health nurse. In 2019, hepatic cirrhosis. And then these are the medications. Okay, so she started using this Thiamin 200 IU in 2017. These are the present complaints on admission on 14 December 2020. So this is the date, okay, when he was presented. And this is the acopia, inability to cope with activities of daily living, admitted to the nursing home, encouraged by community nurse. So he was already admitted. So the nursing, you are the community nurse who has been providing the care to this patient, okay, at the moment. So unshaven, unshelled, poor memory, patches of old, hit his co-stayer, separated in single room, rejects care by female staff, and so on. So these are the problems. And the diagnosis by GP: self-neglect, behavioral management program started. Okay, that's what they're going to do. And the management plan is male staff, as he doesn't like the female staff. The male staff care has been done, and he's calm, reduce aggression, healthy diet, salt restriction, eat fruits and vegetables, and all the things. Verbal aggression, distracted by opera in radio. So sitting in garden with the radio, avoids in a weekly sing-along, sitting alone in a lounge, shouts at fellow residents. Okay, these are the issues. And yeah, this is the recent visit on 23/1/2021. Aggression has been reduced. He is calm. He's he's able to consistently be calm. And he was visited by one of the old male friend, cheered up. Okay, means like he was very happy. Talking with the fellow resident, World War II story, participates in weekly sing-along. Okay, so initially he hesitated, he avoided. When you look at this, he avoided the weekly sing-along function. He avoided that. But after that, he started participating in the on the recent day after the visit made by his old male friend. Okay, eat fruits and vegetables, that's fine. Referred to have re-session with the music therapist, agreed, gave consent, share medical history. So he has agreed for the community nurse, for the sender to share the medical history with this musical therapist. So the recipient is going to be a music therapist, and the referral plan is contact music therapist for regular visits. So the music therapist needs to visit this patient on a regular basis from now on. Okay, now let's go to the writing task. This is the writing task. Using the information in the case notes, write a referral letter to Miss Georgina Jolie, music therapist who visits nursing home occasionally. Address this letter to Miss Georgina Jolie, music therapist, Music for You, Brisbane, Australia. Okay, I will tell you one thing. This is not the known case. No way. Because I will tell you, see, this one, the music therapy visits nursing home occasionally only. All right, and they didn't mention whether he has given a session to this person, isn't it? But I think, one second, let's go back and find it out. Where did they mention first visited by home? And then okay, there is one thing, sing along. Okay, I think that is done by the music therapist only.
No, sir.
Yeah.
On 23rd, it is written referred to have recession.
Okay, so that's going to be 23rd. But what is today's date? Let's go through the today's date. Where
23.
is today's date? 23
Same
only.
date.
Yeah, okay. So imagine the today's date. Okay, all right. So this means, okay, so it's been already shared, isn't it? Yes. No, actually they have received the consent only. That's it. And they
No,
have
sir.
received the consent. Yes, please go on.
For me, initially he came, but the patient was not ready to share with the music therapist his medical background. But at present he is ready. That's why revisit.
Yeah, okay, that's
Recession arranged.
the recession. That's correct. If that's the case, but initially he didn't give consent, to share the medical history of the, the patient with the music therapist, isn't it? Look at this one. Gave consent, share medical history just now only in the second session only. Is that clear with you?
Yeah, initially
Initially he didn't.
refused.
Yeah, he refused. So that's
but
okay.
which means this music therapist had come once, right, sir?
Yep. 1 second. Let's go back and find out. So that's the 14th one, behavioral management program started. But okay, 1 second. It's not the re-session, but it is a regarding the session. Session with, okay, have referred to have re-session. Okay, it means visited by an old male friend. Okay, talking with that participant, sing along. Yes, that's okay. Contact me with the so he used to come here, but he refused it. So this means, yeah, I think they know this. Yeah, they know this person previously because they have already shared the medical history with them. So you don't need to include this one, but you need to you don't need to mention this 2017, 2018 and 19. So all these things are not needed. Only the recent one needs to be included. I mean on the 14th of December. Yeah, because this one may not be known. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, so you need to include from here, but these ones are not needed. No, because even the the community health nurse only started visiting in 2017. So he the community nurse starts knowing this patient only in 2017. So that is all right. We'll go ahead with that. Yes. So it's all about the music therapy. Okay, so this music therapist needs to provide care to this patient, because this patient loves music. Okay, he wanted to participate in weekly sing along. So I think and then this one, look at this one, behavioral management program. So this is what we call the the way to giving music therapy is one of the ways to ensure his behavior is getting better and better. Okay, so that's the reason. Okay, right, now let's go to your letter and see what you have done here. All right, so you have got 23 January 2021. That is fine. That's the actual date. And then Miss Georgina Jolie, music therapist, music for you, Brisbane, Australia. That's good. I'm happy with that. And then dear Miss Jolie, so you have done this one properly because you got to use the same prefix that you have used here plus the surname of the recipient. So you have done that. I'm happy with that so far. All right, let's continue with the next one. Regarding Mr. Aari Vanov, aged 69, that is okay. I'm happy with that as well. I am writing to update the current condition of Mr. Aari Vanov, who experiences behavioral and social problems and requires. Okay, no, this is wrong. It should be unrequires. Because when you mention this, okay, see, it's very simple. If you write down a complex sentence, okay, between two commas, how do we find out it is correct or not? Let's say the information within these two commas, we need to just take this one off from the sentence. I mean, from this Aari Vanov comma, from comma, just remove this everything, all the whole line, and then until here, and then read the remaining words and see whether it is grammatically correct. Do you understand what I mean? So we have to say, I am writing to update the current condition of Mr. Aari Vanov requires your frequent visits. That's wrong, isn't it? It's not grammatically complete. Am I right? So you remove this part, the comma plus the information in between comma. You remove everything. And then you read all the remaining things and see whether it is grammatically complete or not. Is that clear with you? So I am writing to update the current condition of Mr. Aari Vanov. Until now, there is no issue. And then you are writing down and requires your frequent visits. Okay, this is wrong. You can't write down this here. So what you could have done is you could have written on like this. I am writing to update the current condition of Mr. Aari Vanov, who experiences behavioral and social problems and requires your frequent visits. That is fine. So you remove this comma and then write down and here, if you don't mind, and remove this comma as well, because you're not going to add the third information in this case. Is that clear with you?
Okay, sir.
Yes. Okay. He is being referred today. That's okay. Good. So the second sentence is fine, but the first sentence is a bit of error. Okay, here. All right. It's not that bad. It's not, it is still a major mistake, but let's go through the remaining sections of the letter. So upon admission, that's good. So whenever we write down any supporting paragraph, we have to start with the main idea phrase, which can tell the reader what you are going to include in the whole paragraph. And you have been doing a wonderful job here. I'm happy with that. So upon admission on 14 December, that's correct. But there isn't one issue, I will tell you. See, this one is this one is the year that you are writing down the letter, but the issue started in the last year itself, isn't it? So which means you need to mention on 14 December 2020. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes, that's going to be the next mistake. So are you writing them down, or do you want me to write them down here? I think I will write them down.
No, I will write.
Or do you want to do that? No, it's okay. I will do that here as well. So problems requires. So it's going to be, I will also write down here as well. Problems and requires. Okay, that's going to be the next one. All right, the other one is December. You have written comma, but you should write down December 2020 because it occurred in a different year. As a result, we need to, yes, we need to write down this. Okay, let's continue now. December. Okay, Mr. Vanov seemed very reluctant, okay, to maintain his hygiene and was refusing female staff care. Okay, that's fine. I'm happy with that. So there was no issue. Okay, subsequently, he was diagnosed with the self-neglect personality. Okay, self-neglect personality. He was diagnosed with the self-neglect personality. Okay, but it's not a personality. Is that right? Self-neglect disorder. I believe so. Self-neglect disorder. Right. Well, what did they mention in the case now? Sorry.
Only self-neglect, sir.
Self-neglect is then if that's the case, you don't need to mention. Okay, he was diagnosed with. Okay, he was diagnosed with a self-neglect personality. Otherwise, you can mention simply he was diagnosed with the self-neglect. That's it. So that's fine. You don't need to write down anything else. Otherwise, he was found to be a self-neglect personality. Is that clear with you?
Yeah,
so he was found to be a self-neglect personality. So when you use this, a self-neglect personality, you can't write down diagnosed with, because diagnosed with goes with the condition only. It doesn't go with the person or a personality. Is that clear with you? If it is a disorder, then it is okay. That is fine. But when you write down, this person, based on a personality or a person, okay, so it's better to use what I have mentioned. Okay, so he was found to have or found to be a self-neglect personality. Okay. All right. Consequently, behavioral therapy has been commenced. Okay, I'm happy with that. That's really good. After a few days. So in this case, diagnosed with, okay, let me write it down. So diagnosed with needs to be replaced with, diagnosed with needs to be replaced with the, sorry, one second. Found to be, oh, okay, found to be a self-neglect personality. Okay, that would be more appropriate. Now let's go to the next one. After a few days, Mr. Vanov became relatively aggressive while listening to opera music on a radio. Okay, as a consequence, was that the case? One second. All right. When did he become aggressive? Reduced to calm, visited way of talking with the voice better. Okay, aggression reduced. Okay, let's go here. Verbal aggression distracted by. Now it was distracted means, okay, he was verbally aggressive, but it was reduced by the opera in radio. Do you know what I mean? I mean, when he was very aggressive, So whenever he listens to the radio, he was able to get calmed down to some extent. Do you know what I mean? He was distracted from his verbal aggression. Is that clear with you? I think the way you are writing down is different. You are telling that after hearing to the opera in radio, he started becoming more aggressive. That's not the case. It is the other way around. Actually, after listening to the opera music on a radio, he was able to, his aggression has been somewhat decreased. Do you know what I mean? To some extent. It wasn't completely going off, but at least to some extent his aggression has been reduced. So the way you have interpreted the case notes hasn't been correct. So you should write like this: after a few days, Mr. Vanov became relatively aggressive. Okay, however, or you can write down like this. 1 second, let me go back. And it's a verbal aggression. Okay, healthy diet, that's all good. Okay, however, it was reduced by, and then you can write down one thing. Hold on 1 second. Just a minute. So what you should have done is, in this case, yes, he was become relatively aggressive. Okay, while listening to, after mentioning relatively aggressive, okay, what we can mention is relatively aggressive. However, he was distracted by opera music on radio. Do you know what I mean? It means he was somewhat, his aggression was decreased, or his aggression was managed, okay, by playing opera music on radio. That's what they would like to tell you. All right.
So this opera music needed that O capital letter.
Yeah, I think opera music. It's a special. It's I think it's a name of a perhaps we can say it's a name of a music or music channel. So it's better to use it than the capital letter. That's going to be more appropriate. Okay. Because it is a name of a event or a name of a program. Okay, which needs to be in the capital letter only. All right, let's go back here. What else? Opera music on a radio. That's okay. As a consequence, he was carrying the radio and sitting continuously in the garden. Okay. Now, when you read this, okay, you'll be able to get to know that he was, to some extent, he was happy to, listen to the radio, and his aggression has been decreased. Instead of writing down, after a few days, Mr. Vanov became relatively aggressive. You can say after a few days, Mr. Vanov gained more aggression. However, it was decreased by listening to opera music on a radio. Do you know what I mean? So you can use, instead of writing down the adjective, from the case notes, you can just change it to a noun form. Do you understand? So he attained, or he gained, more aggression, or he gained verbal aggression. However, it was decreased by listening to opera music on a radio. Okay, that's going to be more appropriate. All right. As a consequence means, he started enjoying listening to the opera music. So he started taking it, wherever he wanted to move, so that's fine. He was carrying the radio and sitting continuously. That is okay. Continuously. No, it is wrong. I don't know why some people commit mistakes in this one. Anyway, so in this case, it's not continuously, but it is continuously. Okay. So this one is continuously. Okay. But when I enter, it started changing, which means it is incorrect. This is what you have written down, but this is what you should write. It should be continuously. Okay. Yes. All right. And sitting continuously in the garden and the waiting area alone. Okay, that's fine. Although he has been a member of Choir since 2020, at present he is unwilling to participate. Okay, at present he is unwilling to participate. That's okay. But there is a better way of placing this word. It's better to place it in the end. He's unwilling to participate at present. Instead of putting two commas here, I mean, because whenever you write down a sentence structure that starts with although or though or even though, You need to place only one comma, to convey the information effectively. Do you know what I mean? There is no grammar mistake here. It's just the placement of words. Okay, it's better to place this in the end. So you can write like this: although he has been a member of Choir since 2020, comma, he is unwilling to participate at present. That is great. That's a good sentence structure, but there is no grammar mistake. As I mentioned, it's not a grammar mistake, but I wish to advise you that the placement of this phrase is not appropriate. Okay. All right, let's go to the next page. Today Mr. Vanov appeared more calmer. Okay, when you say more and then calmer, it's not going to be the correct one, because we can't use, okay, I will tell you, when you write down the adjective, all right, okay, let's say usually calm is the adjective in the positive degree, and it changes to calmer in the comparative degree, and it again changes to calmest in the superlative degree. Is that clear with you? Yes. So adding more doesn't make sense. All right. So more is added only with the longer adjectives. For example, more beautiful, more colorful, and so on. Do you know what I mean? So those kinds of things, okay, are good. But in this case, it is wrong. So what you should have done is you should have mentioned calmer instead of more calmer. Calmer is the correct one. Is that clear with you? Okay. Yeah. So don't unnecessarily say, more calmer, more better, do you know what I mean? More best. That those things do not make sense, unfortunately. Okay, let's go through the next one. Okay, where is that? All right. As a result, yeah, okay, that's where we were, I think, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm happier. So happier is okay. After a visit by one of his male friends. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I'm happy with that. As a result, he started communicating with his co-residents. That's okay. Additionally, he started participating. He started to participate. It's better to say he started participating rather than he started to participate. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's better to use a gerund after started to. I mean, started. Okay. Rather than a to plus verb. Okay. So started to participate, you can say started participating, please. Okay, that's going to be more appropriate. All right, let's go to the next one. He started participating in group singing with the good voice. Okay, that's all right. It would be appreciated if you could assess his condition and make what is this? Can you tell me this? Make more positive changes in his attitude. That's okay. It is worth mentioning that he is agreed to share his medical problems with you for the therapeutic purpose. That's good. I'm happy with that. Yes. Should you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. Yours sincerely, registered nurse. Okay, that's fine. All right. Firstly, we'll go through these things. Okay, assessment. The first thing is, okay, let's go to the mistakes. So the introduction paragraph is okay, except that these mistakes. So when you write down the complex or the compound sentence, it is critical that you understand the way we organize the sentence structures. We shouldn't commit any mistakes in there. Is that clear with you? Yes. Yeah, okay, great. All right, so grammar hasn't been up to the mark. In some occasions, okay. Overall, it was okay. It was not that bad, but in some occasions. And the number 2, the year, okay, that's going to be a major issue. Third one is also a mistake. And fourth one, you have misinterpreted the case notes, and that is not good. All right. You have misinterpreted one of the case notes, which is very bad. You have misinterpreted one of the relevant case notes. Okay. Actually, his aggression has been reduced only after listening to the opera music. Okay, it's not the other way around. And spelling mistake, spelling is okay in most part of the letter, but in one occasion it was not that good. Continuously, it is continuously. Okay, so new, it's not nusly. Okay, continuously, no, That's not how we have to pronounce. So newsly means it's N-U-O-U-S-L-Y. Okay, and more calmer, that's another problem. Started to participate is a recommendation. So 7 is just a recommendation, whereas all the other mistakes are the major ones. Okay, right. Use of articles, prepositions, nouns and verbs is okay. It's not that bad. All right, connectivity is fine. The way you are linking the sentences is really good as well. And overall task fulfillment is okay, but one of the issues is that you have misinterpreted the case notes, right? That is not good. I mean, it can affect your score under overall task fulfillment. Presentation is okay. Presentation and layout are fine. I'm happy with that. It's not that bad. Okay, it's okay. And you're able to organize the information correctly. So the way you are organizing the information in the paragraphs is all good. I'm happy with that as well. But the problem is, the relevant case notes. Okay, one of the relevant case notes was not interpreted properly, so that's an issue. But we'll go through and find out whether you have included all the relevant case notes or not. Okay, so one second. Sorry. Okay, no. Okay, right. So it's to the music therapist. Okay. Widow retired bank clerk, that's not needed. 90 years, strings occasionally, that's not needed as well. Hobbies, music, singing, yeah, cheer, year ago. Music. I think it is worth to mention music as his hobbies. You could have mentioned it somewhere. I mean, you don't need to, although it was the previous one, I would strongly recommend you to write down just this point. Everything else can be neglected. Okay, until he drinks regularly, you don't need to include the first point or the second point, but this one, hobbies, he likes music, isn't it? You could have mentioned somewhere else. Okay, at least somewhere he likes music and has been participating in choir. You used to mention this, isn't it? So that's fine, but you could have added this one as well. He likes music and he started singing in choirs or whatever it is. You could have mentioned that. Okay, that could have been done in a better way. So I think including music could have been much better, but all the other things are not needed. That's okay, you didn't include it. I'm happy with that. TMN 200 IU, that's not needed. He's not gonna look after the medication. Okay, he's gonna provide the musical therapy. Okay, so that's all right. And this one is okay. Inability to cope with the activities of daily living, admitted to nursing home, encouraged by community nurse, unshaven, unshelled, poor memory, patches of old. So you didn't mention this one, unshaven, unshelled, poor memory, patches of old.
Altogether, I wrote reluctant to maintain hygiene.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Yes, hygiene. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, that's the way we need to summarize. Actually, we don't need to mention all these things. And admitted to the nursing home. Okay, inability to cope with activities. Did you mention this one?
Inability to cope with activities. No, in that one sentence only I wrote.
Yeah, okay, that's all right. Because he's not gonna do anything here. It's okay. Rejects care by female staff. That's okay. Neglect behavioral management program started. That's okay. Male staff care, calm, reduce aggression, healthy diet, salt restriction, eat fruits and vegetables. Okay. Verbal aggression, distracted by opera and radio, sitting in the garden with radio, avoids in a weekly sing along, sitting alone in a lounge. So most of the times he has been sitting in a garden with the radio or alone in a lounge. You could have. So did you mention this one as well? Sitting alone in a lounge. Did you do that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's all right then. All right, aggression reduced to calm increased. Okay, and then visited by an old male friend. I think it's because of that only. He cheered up. I think he has given some positive feedback, and or he might have been talking encouragingly, and as a result, he was able to reduce your aggression. That's good. Yep, that's all right. I'm happy with the. It's going to be the regular visits. Did you mention anything like this? Regular visits.
Yes, sir.
Anywhere in your letter?
In the introduction paragraph, sir.
In the introduction
Your
paragraph
frequent
itself.
visits.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So it's okay. I mean, the music could have been, he likes music, could have been written down somewhere, but that's okay. I mean, all relevant case notes were included. Hobby was listening to music could have been included. So one of his hobbies could have been included as well. But apart from that, it was okay. There is no issue. Use of a range of sentences is up to the mark. It is up to the expectations. I'm happy with that. All right, let's go back and find out the mistakes now, and then I'll provide you the feedback. Okay, so one case note was interpreted incorrectly, and number 1 is a major mistake. Number 2 is also a mistake. Number 3 is a mistake as well. Number 4 is a major mistake, as I mentioned. Number 5 is also a mistake, and number 6 is a major mistake as well. Number 7. So one role play hasn't been, sorry, one important relevant case wasn't conveyed properly. According to me, this one, can get you perhaps 290. I'm not really comfortable to give you 300 for this letter. It's not that bad. However, you shouldn't have interpreted the case notes incorrectly. If you couldn't have done this, and then if you could have reduced maybe one or two more mistakes, you could have been easily got at least 300 for this letter. But unfortunately, I'm not quite convinced to give you 300 for this letter. Are you happy with that?
Yes, sir.